It's the return of the pod. Welcome back. I believe this is episode 4. This is God Bless the Pod. I'm your host, Justin. I'm together here today with Jay Wall. We got an action-packed episode for you guys. Although the pod has not been running, the league has. Jake, what's on your mind? What do we got to talk about?
Man, we got a lot of heavy hitting topics today. We're going to start with the state of the league. What's been going on? What's going down in the league while we've been gone? Then we're going to hit um, kind of the league transactions. What trades have been going down? Who's been getting scammed? Who's been getting fleeced? Who's been
Mm-hmm.
winning those?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to move on to maybe some hot takes we've gotten, especially from Fitz. And then just talk some trash about some people who deserve to get some trash talked about them. That's what I'd say.
Sounds like a great fucking episode to me, man. I'm gonna bring you guys over to the sleeper cam. All right, I got this. Hold on, I got this cool browser extension. It's not working though. Oh, there it is. Fire. Okay. So state of the league. This is my other league. What's kind of been more apparent to me, Jake, is the solids are sinking, the liquids are floating. You know what I mean by
Hmm.
that? We got our contenders and we got our teams that don't give a shit about this season. We also
Yeah.
we got me and Decroft in kind of a flux state. I'm here to announce to the league right now. I am not attempting to win. Okay, I don't want to win. Tony Pollard is for sale. Najee Harris is for sale. DeAndre Hopkins is for sale. And 2023 running back 1, Raheem Mostert is for sale. All right, if you want any of those guys, a first round pick will do. Moving on real quick. All right, let's address these top 4 teams, Jake. Out of the 4, who do you like the most? Who do you like the least?
Um, I think the easy one for me to answer is who I like the least. And I don't think this is necessarily a bad team, but I think it's got to be Fitz that I like the least just because of the uncertainty in his roster. I mean, first of all, you've got Jordan Mason, Kareem Hunt. Who knows how startable they'll be come the end of the year. You've also just got guys like James Conner who might be playing a little bit less towards the end of the year. Cooper Cup, is he going to be healthy? I don't know. And then just the issues at that super flex with having Darnold, having Justin Fields. I don't know that I want to count on those guys down the stretch. So that's just the one that I like the least, and I still think it's a really good team. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it is a good team. I think it is a good team, and in fantasy football, anything can happen. Could this team win the championship? Of course, it could. Would I be surprised if it happened? A little bit. Yeah, I mean, the Superflex, I think, is honestly fine for this season. I think, like, at worst case, like, he'll have Darnold, who will be a starting quarterback for this season. These other 3, I
Yeah, I
think
just guess I
it's
don't trust Darnold to
yeah, you
be
don't
a.
want to trust him, but if you have a quarterback, like, I mean, you're not Teo, bro. Like, you have a quarterback, and Darnold can like put up good fantasy numbers. He has Jay Jettis. I think the Superflex to me is more a concern for the future. It's just like you were saying, a whole lot of question marks. Um, but look, I think he has enough talent to fill out a good roster that can compete for the championship. But I would agree in terms of my favorite and least favorite teams. I think Fitz got to be last on the list. Um, we've seen you roster baiting in the Discord for a month straight now, so I'm not going to give you the credit for the best team, although I do like your team a lot. I think it's got to be the guy that's just dominated the season.
Yeah, I think Sean's got to have the best team. I mean, if we're
Mr.
talking about
Sean
winning
Sennick,
this
bro.
year, yeah,
I mean, you look at this roster, man.
it's star studded.
I mean, Nico Collins, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones on the bench.
Hmm.
I'm looking for his score this week. I'm looking. He put up 120. That's not that many points, but he
It
had
ain't bad
but it's not bad. Did it beat the median? Probably.
I don't think it did. No, I
It was
think he actually
probably
lost it.
close.
It was 122 was the median. He
All
lost the
right.
median because of the Aaron Rodgers interception.
All right, so my eye check median result was off, but I mean this team is fucking just so fucking good, man. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's a really good team. Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
mean, obviously though, down the road,
yeah.
it's not great.
It's not as well positioned for the future. I would give your team the nod there. I would probably give your team the nod out of all of these top four contenders as far as future prospects. I
Yeah, besides trading the first round pick.
Yeah, the first round pick losing it's not great, but realistically, when that's the 13th, 14th pick in the draft, I mean, I've never done a dynasty league before. I have no idea what the end of a first round of a rookie draft looks like, but I mean, this year, off the top of your head, Jake, who do you think that player would have been? Like the 13th or 14th rookie by
Uh,
ADP this year?
I think that would have been like maybe Lad McConkey or
So yeah, like okay, like that's a player you can add to your team, but I mean, you brought home Christian McCaffrey. You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a that's
yeah.
a
I think it's a
league-winning player.
high reward trade that could win me a fantasy championship. So
And just to give Q some shine, he's the only top four team we haven't done a quick zoom on. Um,
we got Jaden Daniels. That's pretty cool.
yeah, we got Jaden Daniels, and I just want to make my official apology to Q. We were talking shit. And I guess we were talking shit and we said he's going to be a win now team, and he is. So I guess maybe we were correct in our shit talking. But he's got a good team, man. He's like, and it's not old everywhere. You know, it's really just he's got two grandpas, Derrick Henry and Mike Evans, and then the rest of his team is whatever. Um, so, I just want to make my apology. You drafted a decent team, Q. So my pre-season prediction turns out to be correct, and my post-draft prediction was wrong. You just got to cover all your bases when you're doing a pod.
Yep.
Astonishing!
Yeah, just bring this back up again. Looks like the 12th pick was Lad McConkey, roughly 13's Trey Benson, 14 Michael Penix. So that's kind of the player you're looking at there. So
So, yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
those guys win maybe like the 8th to 10th round in our startup draft.
yeah, it's just like I feel like the rookie draft is going to be like exponential decrease in value after those top couple picks. Maybe that's just because of this year. Like the top rookies were like such. Like I feel like this was kind of an abnormal year in terms of fantasy productions from rookies, but I just feel like after those top couple picks, it falls off a cliff. So I got to start losing, bro. Please take my good players. Please take them. I will trade them for cheap. But anyway, we started talking transactions, Jake. I think we should just dive into it.
Yep. So why don't you bring up that league transaction view and filter by trades?
Yeah, I got it. I got it going. You're talking to me like I'm a grandpa here. Let's start. The Jordan Mason trade was a long time ago. All right, so I'll start with this Team Q trade. He traded Fitz's first, his second, Greg Dulcich, who I believe has been dropped since then, and
Yeah,
someone named R. Ali
Rasheen Ali, he's like the third string running back on the Ravens, rookie this year.
For Khalil Herbert and Dalton Kincaid. What's
Yeah.
your quick reaction to that?
Would not have done that if I was Q at the time of the trade, and definitely would not do that right now if I were Q. But Dalton Kincaid has a ton of upside. I don't think he's a bad player to have on your roster, obviously. So it is what it is. Can't change it now, but I think he probably regrets that one. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so seeing now this trade was a month ago. He has Evan Engram on his roster as well. So it seems like this was kind of a panic move to get a tight end on his roster that could play because, like we're saying, he's a win now team. He needs to win. Definitely feels like an overpay to me. This is, I would say, a pretty comparable return to the Christian McCaffrey trade, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would probably rather have Vidal than Ali, but it's yeah, pretty fair.
Pretty comparable return to Christian McCaffrey, and I mean, I guess McCaffrey's an older player, injury risk, it's dynasty, but at the end of the day, that's Christian McCaffrey versus Dalton Kincaid. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah,
so yeah, I would say I'm gonna give Q a C. I'm gonna give him a C plus on the trade because he needed a tight end and he's trying to win the championship. Can't win the championship, you don't make the playoffs, but this return was great for Decroft. I'm gonna go A minus there for Decroft.
yeah. I think I'd even go A for G Croft. I think it's a no-brainer trade.
Yeah, I think that's a great trade for him. Uh,
Um,
all right,
this
Tyler
Fitzmagic trade.
Conklin for a third. I truly don't give a fuck about this trade.
I actually do think this is just a horrible move by Fitz. I can't lie. Um, I don't understand why he would do this trade. I wouldn't even really want to have Tyler Conklin as my starting tight end, and he put a third on him. Yeah, don't understand this one at all, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I just pulled up Tyler Conklin's stats. He's bad. Uh,
Yeah, he's had a couple of big games, but I wouldn't expect that to continue.
he's bad. Yeah. This to me, I don't even know what he was thinking. Um, like a third round pick, whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's a third round pick, but like a
Yeah, I
guy
don't
like
know.
Fitz, uh, you start trading all your picks away, and you're not gonna have any players coming up to your roster. Like that is how you get new players in the league. Um,
Yeah, no more Spencer Rattlers.
so yeah, I'm gonna go D plus for Fitz, A plus for Fancy. Tyler Conklin is pretty much a net zero asset, and he got something for him. So
Yep.
uh, love that trade. Uh,
All right, let's go to the next one.
yeah, we got Golden Glover acquiring Geno Smith for the price of one fumble prone heavy running back out of New England, Ramondre Stevenson. Interesting
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah, I think this one is interesting. You'll see Decroft actually named Ramondre something like Steal of the Year. So he's very high on this trade. I'm not necessarily as high. I mean, I don't think Gino provides any value to him. So I guess, good on you. But I don't think Ramondre is a player I would love to have. How do you feel about Ramondre?
Yeah, I mean, to me, no player in New England's offense has high fantasy value until the offense changes dramatically. And whether
He's had
that's,
some good weeks, though.
but it's just the type of thing where it's like consistent production will not occur. Like it just simply won't be consistent. We see this week 3 game right off the bat where he put up a .3,
Hmm.
followed up with a 6.2. I just feel like until that offense is more of a complete unit, I just feel like there will be plenty of games throughout the season where they just say they're not going to run the ball on us, make them air it out. Um, and I mean, yeah, Ramondre Stevenson is a usable fantasy player, sure, especially in a league this deep. Um, could Decroft have maybe gotten a little more value out of his third quarterback? I think maybe.
Yeah.
I don't hate the trade. I don't love it for Decroft. Golden is one of those teams on the outside looking in. Geno Smith will start for him every week.
Yeah.
Um,
Can't
so
don't want to start Bo Nix,
yeah,
so
you definitely don't want to start Bo Nix. Uh, I'm gonna call this one a fairly even trade. I'm gonna go B minus for Decroft, B for Golden. Both players did something positive for their roster, I would say.
yeah, I'd probably just go even BB. But yeah.
Going back to the trade view really quick. All right,
Now they get interesting.
they get a little more interesting around here. Jake started hitting the phones, spamming quite literally everyone. Um,
Yeah.
and the first one we have to address is this J.K. Dobbins and a second round pick for Isaiah Likely.
Yep.
I mean, do you want to talk through maybe the negotiation process there? Give us a little
Yeah.
inside the mind.
Yeah. So I actually used a tactic I learned. I asked Fancy to just give me his rankings on, a couple players that I put out there. and he really seemed to like Likely. And I said, um, Likely for J.K. Dobbins and what? I think he hit me with a third, and I said no, a second, and he said I can't do that, and I said a second next year, and he said I'd do that.
So it was a smooth
Um,
negotiate. I mean, it sounds like you used my trading sauce. It worked perfectly for you, and you're not even willing to give me a third round pick for Hemo. That's what I'm hearing.
yeah, definitely use some tactics I've learned from other places. Um, yeah, I mean, I was pretty honestly pretty happy with this trade. I thought his second was pretty valuable. I really like J.K. Dobbins for just winning this year, and I thought likely wasn't the best player of the people that I put on that list. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I was
mean,
happy with it.
just taking a look at Fantasy's roster, uh, it's he really doesn't have a long term solution at tight end. He has David Njoku, pretty likely. Um, but I mean, it's tight end. That guy, David Njoku could play 3 or 4 more solid years. I definitely think that was an overpay by Fancy. Isaiah Likely has had a few big weeks, but will he even be like a top 8 tight end in the next 2 or 3 seasons? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe. So I'm not high on that trade for Fancy. I'm going to give you an A on that one. I'm going to give Fancy a C. It solved a need for his roster, but I don't think it was the right way to go about it.
yeah.
Um,
All right, next one.
Next trade here, Sean Center, the man running the league. He acquired Braylon Allen from Jake once more. Jake got Josh Downs, Sean's second round pick, both this year and next year. Those are going to be low seconds, a lot different than Fancy's second. You know, like Sean's second is Fancy's third type of situation. So it's not as doesn't jump out to me as crazy, but I still think this is a big return for a player that might not be seeing the field very much.
Yeah, I just Josh Downs is really good. And I got 2 seconds along with him, so I felt like I had to take this one.
Yeah, I mean, do you know was Sean just hitting you up for Braylon Allen? Was that kind of situation? Like, is he just really
He
high on
was,
Braylon?
yeah, he loves Braylon Allen. He's a huge Wisconsin fan, and wanted to get Braylon Allen on the roster. I'd been asking for a first round pick for a long time for Braylon Allen, but he wasn't willing to give that. So I said, well, what about 2 seconds and Josh Downs? And we eventually got to that. So I was happy with it. I think Josh Downs is a great football player. So
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
that's another trade where I feel like you're just easily coming out with assets that are worth more than the assets you put in. You know, Braylon Allen's a big question mark to me. Will he ever be a viable fantasy option unless he switches teams or Brees Hall switches teams? I don't know. Maybe
injury, but yeah,
injury, sure, but do you want to have like giving up 2 seconds in a usable player for preying on an injury? I
yeah.
don't. I don't.
I don't know. I mean, I made the trade, so I agree with you.
Yeah, this is another trade that I think you dominated. Uh,
Thanks.
so far, you're Billy Bean of the league is what I'm seeing. I'm gonna give you an A again. I'm gonna give Sean a D, bro. I hate this trade for Sean. It doesn't solve any need for his roster. It seems like he was just enamored with Braylon Allen and shit. Hopefully he turns into Jim Brown, bro, because I don't see it.
Yeah. Now this last one, the CMC trade. This is probably the hardest one for me to accept. Um, I don't think the other two were very easy to accept. Felt like slam dunks. I don't like this one as much, but when the time comes and you can acquire the guy who's the best player in fantasy football, sometimes you got to do it right.
Yeah,
And I just thought, my team can win a championship this year. Let's take a risk. And it's exactly that. It's a pretty big risk. So hopefully it works out. We'll see.
yeah. I would be curious to have Nico on the podcast to hear what some of the other offers were. Very curious what
I know
Fitz
at
put
least
out
one of
there.
them was
Yeah, let's hear
Lad
it.
McConkey in a second from Fitz.
Yeah, I would have loved to hear Fitz's whole array of offers. That is fucking pathetic, Fitz. Get a life. Uh,
He Nico said if he could have gotten Lad McConkey in a first, he would have accepted that. So
he would have accepted Lad in a first. I guess like Lad's
yeah, I
probably
mean I think
Lad's
that's
worth more than a
yeah
second. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah yeah that makes sense.
Um, yeah, I mean this is like you said, definitely a tougher trade to evaluate. Just because, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys about Christian
Uh,
McCaffrey's injury
I'm
history. I
not a
mean,
doctor.
so maybe he plays less than 10 more games in his career. Maybe he plays 3 more seasons at the same level. You never fucking know. This is a tough trade to evaluate. I mean, Nico obviously has no fucking chance of winning shit this year, so I like it for him. And you have the chance to win a championship, so I like it for you too. I'm gonna give both sides a B
Yeah,
plus.
I
Uh,
think the only issue here is that I just have 3 Niners now.
yeah,
Which if I were to own three of any team, it'd probably be the Niners. But at
yeah,
the same time, yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it kind of caps upside. It also lowers floor. Uh, it's not great in any way to really be super overexposed, but I mean, it's 3 good players, man. It's a great football team. You can
yeah,
obviously win the championship with all of them. Yeah, I'm gonna go B plus on both sides. Understandable trade all around.
I'll take it.
Um, so do you want to jump over to the Fitz take segment of the night?
Yeah, I'd love to. I think there's a lot of places we could start here. Whether it's his bullish rating on his own players, his ability to both want and trash the players on other teams. Uh, I don't know. I think the three that stuck out just from the last, maybe 48 hours were that Garrett Wilson is cooked. Um, we also had um, Spencer Rattler is an extremely valuable young quarterback asset. And we also had that Jerry Judy is at least a wide receiver two, at worst a wide receiver two. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go in reverse order on those. I'm gonna talk
Hmm.
about Jerry Judy first. Uh, so the important part of that sentence to me is how he said at least, like at worst, like the worst case scenario is he's a wide receiver too.
Hmm.
The worst
Hmm.
case scenario is that Jerry Judy does not score over 6 fantasy points for the rest of the season. Like Jerry Judy has never been great, and he's in the worst situation possible. And now he's the number one option, so the defenses are going to be like, hey, maybe we should actually try to cover Jerry Judy. Like that dude
Yeah.
might suck.
Yeah.
So horrible take, Fitz. You're a moron. Just talking about Fitz generally speaking, just the way, I mean, everyone's pointed it out. Nico points it out a ton. Like he just trashes on your player, hypes up his player, then slides into your DM and tries to flip them. Like I don't know what he thinks this is, man. Like the
Yeah.
only person that might work on is fucking Sean. That dude is a brick. um, Hope you're listening still, Sean. Uh, anyway, uh, next one you brought up the Spencer Rattler. Actually, sorry to cut you off. Did you have any more thoughts on Jerry Judy?
Nah.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler. I mean, fuck, man. Like Spencer
I
Rattler
think we
just.
might. I think we might be seeing the last of Spencer Rattler in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, like
Um,
I'll say
but
this,
hey,
Jake. I'll say this. I like myself to play more MCS Elim games than Spencer Rattler plays NFL games rest of his career.
yeah, I would probably take your side on that too.
And I'm not playing this next tournament, bro.
Uh, I've heard. I've
I'm not
heard.
playing it. And I'm
I've
still
heard that.
like, fuck it, man. Like, Spencer
Fuck it,
Rattler is
man.
not. Spencer Rattler, one, is
He's
not good. And two, I'm him at this Madden shit, bro. So it's just
yeah,
easy read there.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, I think Spencer Rattler looked really bad. Did about nothing within the offense that looked good. So yeah,
And what was the last take you had there? On
Oh, just that Garrett Wilson's cooked, and that Fitz would both tell you that he's cooked, but also like to trade for him immediately. So
yeah, just exposing the hypocrisy there. Probably a slight negative for Garrett Wilson's rest of season outlook.
yeah, I
Um,
would say so.
but I don't think it's necessarily an overwhelming negative. I say this as a Garrett Wilson owner in my redraft league. Uh, I'll say I'm not happy with the trade, considering they were just force feeding him the ball, like they were literally just pounding him with
Yeah, that was
targets.
sick.
But I mean, there are situations where the 1A, 1B thing works out for fantasy. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams being the 1A connection scares me a bit, but um, I mean, Garrett Wilson is a young, super talented player, TopDogMadden.com subscriber, so clearly he has a good head on his shoulders. In a dynasty league,
No, did it happen again, Justin?
nah, can you hear me? My mic
Yeah,
unplugged. My mic
yeah, I can hear
unplugged.
you. You're back. You're back.
All
You're
right.
back.
Not sure if I got cut off there, but yeah, not major impact on Garrett Wilson's dynasty value. Obviously, anyone with a fucking brain would see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our fuck Fitz segment of the day. Uh,
Hmm.
anything else we need to address?
Yeah, the last one I just want to rattle off some people who need to be told that they suck.
Gotcha.
So the number one, Fancy. What is this roster?
Yeah, let's pull it
What are
up
you
real quick.
doing? Can we get some more moves on this thing? Because why is Amari Cooper on the team? I just don't know what to say about this team. I think it's horrendous. And please do something about it so that we don't have to look at it every week that I boot
Like
up the
straight
sleeper
garbage.
app.
Y'all right now are
K
looking like
Dillon, I know you
straight
don't
garbage.
really play this, but try a little bit harder. Um,
Terrible, terrible, fancy, terrible, fucking horrible, pathetic. At least Nico is losing effectively, bro. Although he won this week.
yeah, he did.
Um,
D Croft, your team. I know you're building for the future. Your team's not winning this year. Pack it up. Get the fuck out of here. Sell anyone that's over the age of 27, and we'll see you next year. Whiteford Bronco. You came on the podcast after you were 4-0, I believe. Talked a lot of shit. Proceeded to lose 6 straight. I don't think you got it this year. Pack it in.
you're telling him to pack it in. Teo's got to pack it in after coming on the pod, undefeated, silencing the haters. You're telling him to pack it in.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's got no depth. Couple injuries don't go his way. He's not gonna be around come playoff time.
Wow. Heard it here first on the pod. Teo needs to sell. Before we go, another team that needs to sell. My team. Team DeQuinnesapua. All right, we got Tony Pollard. We got Najee Harris. We got DeAndre Hopkins. And most importantly, we have Raheem Mostert. Hit me up. All of those guys are readily available for the right offer. Yeah, just let me know. I'm a reasonable guy. I love to talk trades. And my DMs are open. But anyways, thank you for joining us on the return to the pod. We apologize for the extended absence. And yeah, that is all.
Peace.